Taiwan is an island nation located in East Asia. It sits off the southeastern coast of China, separated by the Taiwan Strait. To the north lies Japan, and to the south is the Philippines. This location is very important. It is part of what military strategists call the first island chain. This chain of islands creates a natural barrier between the Chinese mainland and the vast Pacific Ocean. For this reason, Taiwan's position is strategically critical for trade, security, and influence throughout the entire Indo-Pacific region. Many of the world's most vital shipping lanes pass through these waters, making regional stability a global concern. The island receives so much international attention because of its complicated political status. The government in Beijing, known as the People's Republic of China, claims that Taiwan is a rebellious province that must one day be unified with the mainland. If necessary, the PRC has stated it would use force to achieve this goal. However, Taiwan, officially called the Republic of China, has its own democratically elected government. Its people have a distinct identity and have never been ruled by the PRC's Communist Party. This fundamental disagreement is the main source of tension and the reason why Taiwan is often called one of the most dangerous flashpoints on Earth. Life on the island is a unique blend of modern democracy and constant vigilance. Taiwan is a vibrant society with a world-leading economy, particularly in the manufacturing of advanced semiconductor chips that power everything from smartphones to military hardware. Despite this success, the threat from its much larger neighbor shapes its politics, its military posture, and its relationships with other countries. The international community watches closely because any conflict over Taiwan could have devastating consequences for the global economy and could potentially draw in other major powers, including the United States, creating a much wider and more destructive war. The story of Taiwan is therefore a story of resilience and determination. It is about a small democracy thriving in the shadow of a powerful autocracy. The choices made by Taiwan's leaders and its people, as well as the actions of China and other nations, have far-reaching implications. Understanding Taiwan's situation is essential for grasping the key geopolitical challenges of our time. Its struggle to maintain its sovereignty and democratic way of life is a critical issue that affects international security, trade, and the fundamental principles of self-determination for people everywhere. The year 2024 brought a significant political shift to Taiwan following its presidential and legislative elections in January. The results created a complex and challenging new landscape for governance on the island. Lai Ching-te, the candidate from the Democratic Progressive Party, won the presidency. His victory marked a historic third consecutive term for the DPP, a party that strongly advocates for Taiwan's distinct identity and sovereignty separate from China. This outcome sent a clear message that a significant portion of the electorate supports the DPP's vision for the nation's future, one that prioritizes self-rule and resists pressure from Beijing. However, the election results were not a straightforward victory for the ruling party. While the DPP secured the presidency, it lost its majority in the legislature, known as the Legislative Yuan. This created a divided government, a situation where the president's party does not control the lawmaking body. The two main opposition parties, the Kuomintang and the newly formed Taiwan People's Party, managed to gain enough seats to form a controlling coalition. This legislative majority gives them significant power to block or alter the president's policy agenda, setting the stage for political gridlock and intense negotiations. This new political dynamic presents serious challenges for President Lai's administration. Governing has become a difficult balancing act. The opposition coalition, led by the KMT, which generally favors closer ties with China, has already used its legislative power to push through controversial reforms. These actions have been described as highly contentious by observers and have sparked public protests from citizens who fear the changes could undermine Taiwan's democratic institutions. The internal cohesion of this opposition coalition has also been tested by scandals, adding another layer of unpredictability to the political scene. For President Lai, this means that passing legislation, approving budgets, and advancing his key policies now require a great deal of compromise and political maneuvering. The divided government makes it harder for him to present a united front, both on domestic issues and in the face of external pressure from China. Every major decision is likely to be met with strong resistance from the legislature, potentially slowing down the government's response to economic challenges, national defense needs, and foreign policy initiatives. This internal political drama is being watched closely by both allies and adversaries alike. Following the 2024 elections, China dramatically intensified its campaign of military intimidation and psychological warfare against Taiwan. Beijing has long used its military, the People's Liberation Army, to signal its displeasure with Taiwan's political direction, and President Lai's victory was no exception. the PRC launched a series of large-scale military exercises around the island, simulating a full-scale blockade. These drills were designed not only to test the PLA's capabilities, but also to wear down Taiwan's military and create a constant sense of anxiety among its population. The scope of these exercises has expanded, extending further east into the Pacific and involving an unprecedented number of ships and aircraft. In a particularly concerning move in December 2024, the PRC conducted one of its largest naval deployments in decades. This operation, which involved nearly 90 naval and Coast Guard vessels, was a direct response to President Lai's diplomatic tour of Pacific allies. Unlike previous drills, China did not publicly announce the operation, a tactic suggesting a shift towards making these massive military movements a new, unannounced normal. This strategy aims to normalize a heavy PLA presence in the waters and skies around Taiwan, gradually eroding Taiwan's control over its own environment and testing the resolve of the international community to intervene. Beyond naval and air force maneuvers, China has also employed a new tool of intimidation high-altitude surveillance balloons. Since late 2023, these balloons have been repeatedly sent into Taiwan's air defense identification zone, and in some cases have flown directly over the island's sovereign territory, including the capital city of Taipei. Taiwanese officials have condemned these incursions as a form of cognitive warfare. The goal is to create a feeling of helplessness and constant surveillance among the Taiwanese public, demonstrating that China can penetrate their airspace at will. These balloons may also be used to gather valuable weather data for potential missile strikes. This multi-pronged strategy of pressure is designed to weaken Taiwan's morale and its ability to resist. The daily threat of military action, the constant presence of warships and fighter jets, and the unnerving sight of surveillance balloons are all part of a calculated effort to isolate Taiwan and force it to submit to Beijing's demands. These actions create a challenging and stressful environment for the people of Taiwan, who must carry on with their daily lives under the perpetual shadow of a potential conflict. It is a testament to their resilience that society continues to function and thrive despite this immense pressure. In the face of escalating threats from China, Taiwan has actively worked to strengthen its relationships with other countries, especially the United States and its remaining diplomatic allies. The United States has long been Taiwan's most important international partner, providing it with defensive weapons and political support under the framework of the Taiwan Relations Act. Despite the complexities of a potential change in the United States administration, President Lai's government has continued to engage with American officials. For instance, during transit stops in Hawaii and Guam, President Lai held calls with United States representatives to emphasize the importance of deepening cooperation on security and economic matters. Taiwan also places great importance on maintaining ties with its handful of official diplomatic allies. These are nations that formally recognize Taiwan as a sovereign state. President Lai recently toured several Pacific Island nations, including Palau, Tuvalu, and the Marshall Islands, to reinforce these crucial partnerships. These visits are vital because China actively tries to lure these countries away with promises of financial aid and investment. The president of Palau even accused China of weaponizing tourism to punish his country for its steadfast support of Taiwan, highlighting the intense diplomatic battle being fought in the region. Simultaneously, China employs a sophisticated strategy of influence operations and economic coercion to undermine Taiwan from within and isolate it from the outside world. Beijing has been accused of using its United Front work to co-opt Taiwanese celebrities and business leaders, hoping they will promote pro-China narratives to the Taiwanese public. These efforts are designed to sow division and weaken the Taiwanese people's will to resist. On the economic front, China has sanctioned United States defense firms that sell arms to Taiwan and has restricted the export of critical minerals that are vital to global technology and defense industries. The story of Taiwan in 2024 is more than just a local political drama. It is a critical test for the entire international order. The island stands at the intersection of democracy and authoritarianism, and its fate has profound implications for global security and economic stability. Tensions in the nearby South China Sea, where China is in disputes with countries like the Philippines, further underscore the region's volatility. The world watches Taiwan because its struggle for self-determination represents a much larger contest of values. Its resilience and its ability to navigate these immense challenges will help shape the future of the Indo-Pacific and the world.